Brenda's Thrifty Decor and DIY. I am so glad to be back with you all on this beautiful Thursday. For this is the day that the Lord has made, and I indeed rejoiced and continue to rejoice in it. Well, welcome back to my channel. And as I said on yesterday in my holiday cleaning video part 1, this is part 2 because I am continuing to get my house in order. Not only just for the holidays, but just to get it in order, anyway. Nice to have it in order for the holidays, but I need to make sure it stay in order after the holiday and not wait so long to do stuff. Like that fireplace I cleaned out on yesterday. I should not have waited that long to clean that fireplace out, but irregardless, it is done. Well, today, my friends, what I am going to be doing is I have a shelf here I'm actually going to be working today in my breakfast room. So the shelf that's the tall shelf back there that's behind me, I'm going to be, I said this before, that whenever you have dishes and whatnots and accessories and all that stuff out on display, every now and then it is a good idea to because dust accumulates on it, so every now and then it's a good idea to although you're not using it, to take that stuff down, give it a good wash, and then dust down the shelves and all of that, and then re-put things back up there. So this stuff has been kind of sitting here in place for a while. And what I'm going to do today on this video is I'm going to take the stuff down off of the shelves. I'm going to rinse them out over in my sink. I'm going to dry them off, wipe down the shelves, and put everything back in place. I need to get up on top of it and make sure there's no dust that's settling down up there. I'm also going to be taking my bench cushions off of my 2 benches here at my table because they are due for a wash. I need to throw those in the laundry and get them washed. I was looking at them the other day and I was like, ooh, these need to be washed, Brenda. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. So come with me as I tackle getting this shelf cleaned up and getting the cushions off of my benches so I can throw those in the wash. Okay, you all stick with me and let's get it done Thursday. Cleaning up, you all, for the holidays. Let's get it done. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this is the cushion, and it's one on the other bench, and I'm going to take these off. I really have not taken these off since I had them, and I've had them for a while. So they are due. They're tied up under here. So I got this one off. I'm going to toss it to the side. I'm going to get my dishcloth real quick. See if I can get it without flipping it over. Now I am going to start moving the stuff off of the shelf, and I'm going to take it over to my sink and just kind of, some stuff I can just kind of wipe down, but things like these bowls and that type of stuff, I really want to kind of not necessarily wash them, but just give them a dip in some water, and then just make sure that they're free of any dust. And for these, I want to do more than just dust them down. Wipe them down. I want to actually, because sometimes, when this stuff sits for a while, it can also get kind of sticky. I think I'm going to do one shelf at a time. I put this first shelf, I'm going to go over down to the sink and just kind of wash those out and then put them back on the shelf so that way I won't have so much over there at one time. So let's go over to the sink and get those washed up. I keep this on the shelf because it was actually, Sage made this when, I think she made it when either in the second or third grade. I believe it was the second grade. I love the colors, and when I put it on the shelf, I was like, oh, that just kind of brightened up my shelf so much. But look at those beautiful colors, you all. I love her artwork. So nice. All right, we'll get this one over there. Now I have gotten all my shelves dusted down. I removed all of the dishes. As you can see, as you saw, I gave them a good wash, dried them, put them back on the shelf. They are good to go a little while longer. However, I don't need to just let these dishes just sit here. Here is something that I want to say about, as I mentioned before, that whenever we have, you know, like displays like this where we want to display our dishes, particularly if you have, now I do have stuff down in the bottom, but I'm not too particular about those because they're not out in the open. But whenever you have dishes and even accessories, like you saw me yesterday, dusting off my accessories on my coffee tables and mantle and, you know, fireplace mantle, we really need to keep that stuff good and dusted, particularly for those that have the china cabinets that may be an open china cabinet. And even sometimes when your china cabinet is not open, you need to periodically go through and just pull that stuff out. Even if you don't want to just particularly wash it, just get a damp cloth and just go over the pieces. You know, if you have things on your dining table, your breakfast room table, where you may have a tablescape, don't just let that stuff just sit there, you know, week after week, month after month, year after year. You really need to, if you don't switch it out periodically, then go ahead and take everything off of the tablescape, all of the dishes, and just wash them up real good. Your chargers, even throw your cloth napkins in the washer, wash the silverware, whatever you have sitting out, go ahead and make sure that you keep that stuff good and dusted down. Now, am I perfect with that? No, I am not. Am I going to get better? Yes, I am, because that type of stuff can really affect your allergies. And if you're a person that have allergies and all that types of stuff, that accumulation of dust can really wreak havoc if you don't keep your house dust free. The chairs that sit at the head of my tables, I really need to take the pillows off and probably wash those. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to dust them down, the seat of them. I really don't have anybody sitting at this table very often unless I have company. Sage and I generally eat at the, we usually eat at the bar. Yep, she'll eat up on a, she'll pull up, she'll sit in one of the bar stools and I'll pull up a stool, and that's generally where we always have our meals. The only thing that I have left over now is I want to take my Keurig apart, and we're going to wash that up also. I did have coffee this morning. It wasn't 2 weeks ago. And another thing too about these Keurigs, if you do have a Keurig that you use for your to make your coffee, it's a good idea to take the dispenser, the water dispenser off, and just the pieces that detach. Like I'm going to take the trays off, and just this top here, and my water dispenser, and I'm going to wash these up. And even if you don't have a Keurig and you just use a coffee pot, it's the same principle. You know, I've seen people that literally just hardly ever clean the actual pot, the glass pot that they make their coffee out of in the regular coffee makers. But you really need to take that stuff apart, because bacteria do set up, and you don't want to just keep using it over and over, and, you know, don't take it apart and wash the coffee pot out. And just kind of wipe the coffee pot down. But it's really easy. And I'm just going to take my dish towel and just wipe it down real good. Just kind of get all up inside there. But sometimes these things too can get not only dusty, but they can get kind of sticky. I just thought about it. I do need to get these coffee pots. I'm not going to take them down and wash them. I'm just going to wipe them down real good with this cloth. But I'm going to take them all down because I need to wipe the shelf down. I'm so proud of this shelf right here because my son actually installed it for me. I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of him. You know what? Now that I feel these coffee pots, they're kind of sticky like, so I think I probably better go ahead and just put some water on them. How did son go put a little ring on it? I think I need to put a little water on it. I went there, didn't I? And I'm just going to wash the outside of them, not the inside. All those pretty colors. Got the deep red and the apple, all of this yellow and the gold. So pretty. I love that collection. All right, let me get to drying so I can get them back on the shelf. And once I do that, we are going to be done with the breakfast room area part 2. Like I always say, I am always very happy to get little jobs done. A lot of you kind of comment when I'm cleaning. I get a lot of comments from people saying that they're amazed by my level of energy and how I'm able to, bend down, get up on top of the sofa, wipe the pictures down, and that type of thing. But I want to say this, and I know I had one person to say, I wish I could still do that kind of stuff, and you're in great shape. But let me say, I'm always the type of person that's transparent. It's not about, I'm the same 67 or almost 67 in January person that as any other 67-year-old, 65-year-old, 50-year-old, Yeah, I thank God that I am able to get around relatively well. But guess what, you all? I'm seeing a physical therapist for my neck, my lower back, my hips. Many of you know that I suffered with my knee a while back with arthritis, could barely walk. Look, I am no different. However, I don't choose to let it stop me because there's a level of pain that is different from, whenever I go to the physical therapist, they want to know what's your level of pain from 1 through maybe 10. And so my pain is never to the point to where it literally paralyzes me to the point to where I can't do anything. There's a lot of times, you all, I'm going to be very honest with you. There are times I work through my pain because I'm not going to let it, put me down to the point, because if I stop and if I don't do anything and if I lay there and pamper the pain and pacify the pain, I'm only going to get more stiff. It's just going to get worse. But I found that when I move around and when I get up and when I do stuff like this, it really helps me. It's almost like a form of exercise. It really is, because you're making your body, you're using your muscles and you're making your body do things. And if you feel like you can't do it, I guarantee you that if you get up and maybe try to start doing some things, I'm not talking about working beyond whatever your disability may be or that, but I'm saying that, we all gonna have, at our age, we're gonna have things that is wrong with our bodies, but we cannot let it stop us. And I also get a lot of comments from people about how big my house is and, oh my God, I have to clean up that big old. No, but let me tell you something about that. I'm in Georgia. The average woman, single woman, I'm talking about my age, younger, I would probably say 40 and above, maybe 50. The average single woman here in Georgia owns her own home. And I'm not talking about those small houses, because see, Georgia, you get a lot of house for your money. And people think when they see a house this size, oh, it must be expensive. I'm in Georgia, you all. We don't pay the same prices for houses like they probably would do in California or New York or some other, city or states in other places, Florida perhaps. No, buying a house here in Georgia, is relatively, you get a lot of house. You got a lot of house for your money. So it's nothing uncommon about a single woman and most older women my age do not give up their homes once they get to a certain age. Those women be saying, look, I'm going to hang on to my property. And then, if it gets to a point to where, I can't get up and down the stairs, and I'll sleep downstairs, because I would not be able to pay rent for what I pay for my mortgage. So yes, it may be a 32 square foot house, but what I pay for a mortgage here, honey, there is not an apartment, 1 bedroom, efficiency, nowhere I'm gonna pay what I pay for mortgage here that I would pay in rent, because to get somewhere in Georgia that's decent enough to live in, at least a 2-bedroom for Sage and I'm gonna pay up close to about $1,800 or more a month. And I'm not paying that for a mortgage. So what I'm saying is that, yeah, I bought this house when I was almost 50. I was 49 years old when I closed on my house. 17 years later, I'm still here. And I love the size of it. That's the reason I'm here, is because I was impressed by the size of it. I never wanted a cookie cutter house. I never wanted a small house. I wanted the open plan. This house met every desire and need that I was looking for. So when you see, and I had one lady kind of turn her nose up and go, oh God, that's a lot of house to try to keep clean. Well, you know what? If you break it down, there is not a day, not a Saturday, nowhere that I get up and go around my house and clean up the whole house. You break it down as sections. You clean up there are areas upstairs that I need to get to, like I needed to get to the areas down here. I break them down. I do in the main areas. I try to make sure I keep clean, dusted. I have a couple of spare bedrooms I'm getting ready to work on upstairs. And, even sometimes you got to take 1 bedroom at a time, or 1 room at a time, or just 1 section of your house at a time. It doesn't mean that just because you got a big house, you're killing yourself trying to keep it clean. No, it doesn't mean that. You have to be organized, methodical, and you got to decide, okay, how am I going to break this down? How am I going to clean it? And I have ever since I've been in my house, the only time I had a problem with cleaning is when my knee went out on me. and I could barely get up and down the stairs. But look, and another thing too, I don't have a problem if it gets out of hand. I don't have a problem with nobody here but me. So if I have a room that's like, kind of getting out of hand, when I get to it, I get to it. There's no pressure. No pressure, you all, no pressure. I live where I enjoy. And so when you enjoy something, it's not, you don't grudge having to take care of it. Just like a car. If you go out and buy an expensive car and don't ever keep it clean or washed, that says that you don't appreciate your property. You don't appreciate what you have. I have this house. So to show my appreciation for having this house, I like to keep it nice. I like to keep it clean. I like to keep it nice and, my little decorations for what I like, but it's just what, it's what every individual person enjoys. Some people like small, some people like bigger. I'm in Georgia. Having bigger doesn't mean that it's more expensive. It just means that you live in a bigger house. I can go buy a smaller house and pay more money. Guarantee you, if I were to sell my house right now and try to buy another house, I would never get a house for the price that I paid for this one. That's why I'm not trying to let it go. As long as God gives me strength, I'm going to be right here. Okay, you all, but that wraps it up for today, you all. I hope that you enjoy part 2 of my cleaning day. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Leave your comment for me down in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. What are you waiting for? Thanks to all of those that recently subscribed. I am so glad to have you on board on this little daily journey with Brenda. So I will see you all back on tomorrow, which is Friday, and I'm going to tackle another area of my house. I might be working in my office, you all, because it's a hot mess. So tomorrow may just be my office. If it's not my office, I need to do some things up in my bedroom. But I'm thinking, though, because I want to get the areas downstairs right. It's either going to be my office or I need to break things down in my former dining room, take everything off the table and, take care of that. We'll see. Just come back with me on tomorrow, and you'll see exactly what I'll be up to. All right, Joe. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. God bless you.